Since I started this channel, I've really just been shooting on 2 lenses, maybe 3. Sigma 24, Helios 58mm, and then often just a 24 to 70. But I want to kind of get out of this rut and try new things, and sometimes I fail. Like adding a little too much grain for YouTube. And this is where I'm looking at new lenses and getting away from just shooting on the FX6 and using my 4D a bit more. And I spoke with DZO and they had some simera-c lenses from their TIPOC lens line. I hope I'm pronouncing all of this right. But this is where things get interesting though, because I called up my good friend, Zach Ramelan. You may know him from this movie, Chase It From the South. Zach's an amazing director. I told Zach I wanted to do a camera test with these lenses on this camera, and he kind of freaked out because he said he's wanting to shoot a feature film with that exact same setup. So I'm venturing into new kind of territory, DPing a scripted film. Well, I'm DPing the camera test, not the actual film. Maybe if I do good enough. No, this is not gonna work. The mic is right there. If I can land the job, that is yet to be seen. Whoa, what am I doing? Just this is me. Just literally bought this lens and decided to leave it precariously on that table. Yeah. So I'm gonna head out to Prince Edward County with Mr. Ramelan Jamalan. We're gonna shoot a short film. Well, like a 1-minute film as a camera test. But I don't know about you, but I am really tired of camera tests, including the ones I've done myself in the past that are just in an alleyway. I actually want to shoot something with Zach to know, are these lenses viable? Do they kind of pass the gauntlet, which I'll talk about, of knowing if you should actually buy a lens? Is it your style? Does it work with your workflow? Can you tell the story the best way possible with that lens? These are some things I'm beginning to think about with the gear I'm purchasing, so we'll cover that, but let's just get out there. What? They did send me one more. I told them they didn't. Oops. Yeah, you can get one single step ring, but who wants that when you can have this big snooter? Ah, no. This is really why I need smaller filters. Just move it back. Just a little. Oh, that's close. Got the mic in the back here where in theory, it's in the way of everything. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, it sounds decent. We did it. Hi, Zach. Hey, that's your director's hat.
There's actually a lot of cool director's hats.
Oh, you're buying fake blood.
So I'm at the Party City, baby.
This is going to be a great film.
I think you could do a cowboy hat quite well.
I'm not Derek Lamoureux. I can't do that. All right. I'm going to pack this up and I'm going to come see you.
Later,
Toodles. Well, it's the next morning. 3-hour drive out here to the country where Mr. Ramelan lives. It's pouring snow. This is going to be a camera test, that's for sure. In the meantime, I have a little gift I have to give Zach. Need the Sharpie because I have a fragile ego. And I'm going to sign the poster for Zach. Let's do this.
Oh, dude, that's so sweet. Oh, man, thank you so much.
I got to sign it now.
Maybe you can just sign over the plastic so we can just take it off afterwards.
Right now with the camera, I need to do charting. Elvis is going to be our guy. Thank you, Elvis. See, my poor little gear here is trying to figure this out. I got to attach it in. And I essentially have to just put 6 points onto the focus, tell this LiDAR system where near focus is, far focus is, and then kind of 4 other points in between that. This will become essentially an autofocus lens, or at least one that I can control with the side controls, which I actually need to put those hands in. What time is it? We're going to finish it. We're going to crush it, Zach.
We're going to crush it, Mark.
Yeah, exactly.
Got my post-it notes ready. This is like an apocalyptic shoot that we're doing, trying to see if we can create like a big world with a very small production budget. Obviously, we have the 4D, which is like an insane camera, but outside of camera, it was like $10 for fake blood, $30 for Jackie's thing that she's wearing, and then I've got this toy gun that I had as a kid that we'll be using as like her prop. Well, see, that's cool. Your fiance carrying a gun.
It's what every man dreams of.
That's right.
Still haven't started filming. There's no chance that we're finishing this on time, but I'm here for it, right? Remain positive. Isn't that right, dog? If you're watching this video And you're thinking, this is a bit off-brand for Mark. This is a dark moment for me using a clip-on mic. This blood, post-apocalyptic, he's usually just doing documentaries. You're right. But I think this is important in our career, that we try new and different things, especially when someone puts a challenge in the way, like Zach did, giving us only like 4 hours to shoot. The nice thing with a challenge, when you put restrictions on your work, is you actually come up with more creativity than you would if you just had all the freedom in the world. And I really enjoyed getting to collaborate with Zach. Not only did I really get to sink my teeth into the cinematography, but he also allowed me to contribute some mediocre ideas to it. And this is where I want to talk about today's sponsor. Before you skip, they're doing a challenge and you can win $100,000. Just Musicbed is doing their biggest ever short film challenge. This is a 30-day challenge. Like I mentioned, there's going to be $100,000 in prizes, including us, Art of Documentary. But it's the chance for you to try something new. It's easy to get stagnant in your career and just work on your client work or try something really simple. But when there's a competition and there's a panel of judges, and I'm one of them, I'll be judging the documentary category, this will push your craft. I cannot recommend it more. We do competitions all the time in Art of Documentary. It's going to benefit your reel. It's going to get your name out there. And thirdly, is it will push you to try something you haven't before. And this is the point of progressing in your career. It's not necessarily about what other people are doing, but it's if you've been improving. So this competition, it's going to be starting February 25th and goes until March 27th. So now's your chance. Get going. All the contest rules are below. I'll put a link. You can head over to the website and download your Access Starter Kit. That's not what it's called. You can access the Starter Kit. It's called the Starter Kit. You can click the Access button. And just like this video, which is using all Musicbed, you'll have the chance to try out their amazing music and scores. We use it on all our films and many of our YouTube videos. Get into that competition. Even if you don't get it done, which you should, you have the chance for all of us judges to judge your work and perhaps pick it, $100K. It's a lot of money. Now back to the Canadian wilderness.
This is a first. It's like -2 and raining somehow. And that's -2 Celsius. My editor's American. He'll let me know what the conversion is. God damn. This is like from 2 minutes outside. I love getting my gear wet, but this is an extreme amount. This is part of making films in Canada.
When you shoot in harsh environments, it looks the best when you're sitting warm and cozy in your house, but is the worst to shoot in. You deal with stuff like wet lenses, tough environments.
What is the TLDR on these lenses? I'm gonna pull them apart and show you the images I shot and give you my thoughts. But just my quick thoughts right now is, number one criticism of this lens is it's kind of boring. The bokeh, not much to write home about. There's just not anything special really happening in terms of the image. That said, where I think some people have criticized saying that they're not always that sharp, I found them extremely sharp. We're shooting at 1.5 on a 35mm out in this forest, and it's tack sharp. I'm like running in a blizzard, and our focus was amazing. It worked amazing with the DJI Ronin. And because it is so sharp, or at least by my eyes and my standards on my giant screen, I found that the bokeh then does get a little more interesting, because anytime you shoot a lens at 1.5 wide open in a forest, it should look good, and these did look great. They're just a workhorse, and they're very tiny. That's my other pro about these. Yeah, you don't have the declickable aperture, but who cares? It has enough friction. But this is the most compact cinema lens I perhaps have ever used. And the focus throw isn't too far. Sometimes with cinema lenses, you're going like this, and they're so big, and it just doesn't really work conducively for handheld. But these are great. Hi, I'm at the mall. I had some time to kill. Well, they repaired my iPhone and began thinking, these lenses are really light. Is there anything lighter on the market? And from all the research I did, including some deep research from chat, there's Tommy Bahama.
Tommy Bahama.
I'm so lost. These are truly the lightest cinema lenses
in the world.
I'm being hard on them because their look is just traditional, but holy crap, they are friggin' light. I'm gonna be having some lenses sent from Cook soon. Even those I looked up and they're like 600 grams. If you're shooting on a 4D or you need just a light cinema setup, I don't think there's any lens in the world that could be considered cinema grade. Thank you, Jack Jones. That would be lighter. These are your ticket. All right, back into the Canadian wilderness. Not really, just it's cold here in Canada. I'm over it. All right, back to studio, Mark. Let's go look at some of the footage. In the corners, I was analyzing this a bit deeper. You're starting to get a little bit of the oval, like a bit of the swirl. I mean, this is a great way to test lenses. Just get out in a forest because you're gonna get all that dappling. Nothing too crazy, but it's so sharp that it works. You can go to 1.5. You can just see, I wasn't pulling focus on this. This was just a LiDAR. And I gotta say, I'm really impressed. Not all lenses love the 4D LiDAR, but these seem to really work great in conjunction with it, especially at near focus. Like I said, I'm at 1.5 here, which is very, very shallow. And in turn, I'm really able to separate her from the background. And you can even just see the detail in the hair. And it really is kind of nailing it right around the eyebrows. That's always the challenge with these LiDAR things, especially in this situation where her face is in shadow, she's leaning over. It could very easily just go to the hands or the back of the head. But as I was mentioning, the bokeh doesn't get me all that excited. But like I said, because I know I can shoot 1.5 and this thing is holding that focus, I then know I can get that beautiful creamy background and some more interesting depth of field. It's just so awesome. Like, that's an incredible shot. That's spooky.
We're shooting this wide shot of a car accident, mostly to see if we can even get away with doing this.
I just put the mic out. Talking about focus when it comes to the 4D and these lenses, you can see here it just holds on to the focus nearly perfect the entire time. I think there's a small little buzz right there, but then it picks back up. Man, that's the one fun thing about the 4D is you really are a one-man band. This normally in the past would have been like 10 people on set, focus puller, we would have had tracks laid down or a Steadicam operator and camera assistant. That was just me walking, doing a very, very small movement and letting the autofocus do the full thing. We shouldn't walk here. These lenses do have a slight blue shift, a bit of a cooler look to them, which we're out in the Canadian wilderness. You kind of want that bluish look, but it's something that you can easily color correct out. So you've seen me with my Helios. That is wild and crazy. If you want to learn how to color correct your videos so that different lenses and different cameras match, I do have a free link to a tutorial down below. But these lenses are just slightly bluer, but also it just takes a quick little adjustment of the temperature here and you can see the before and after. There it is with the white balance shift. This to me is a bit more spooky and scary, but this to me would feel a bit more real and kind of where I would want to go. But I don't know, that is also a vibe. In studio and here in a more controlled environment, you can still see a bit of that cool tone on our subject here, but I don't really need to do much of an adjustment. And just bring that full screen. Yeah, I'm just a little bit, yeah, I'm only at 1.4 there. Just warming it up just a bit. Let me just adjust this exposure. In terms of the near focus, it's very traditional. It's not giving you anything very close, but very average, normal readings. Here are all the near focuses, but as you can see, we're shooting with a 50mm here. It is nice and close. Again, it'll feel like you're a bit closer when you're this shallow depth of field, because then suddenly it feels kind of like a macro world. You can get close, not super close, but close enough. I don't know when you're gonna need to go closer like this for documentary. And I'm often using 2.35 crop anyway, so if we were to do that, this would feel very, very close.
I really do love this camera.
So full disclosure, Dizio or Thighpoc or simera-c, whoever makes these lenses, did send them to me for free. That said, they don't get to choose what I say in this video. The usability of them, I like them. Genuinely, like, they're great. We have a short focus throw, but it's still detailed like you would expect on a cinema lens. We're very sharp at 1.5. And the look for Zach's project in this post-apocalyptic world where he needs that sharp aesthetic, that shallow depth of field that draws us into the characters. These lenses are actually gonna work for Zach. Oh, I forgot to mention, I did throw a 1/4 diffusion on all the footage. Very, very impressed with these. I wasn't sure what to expect with them. Like I said, it's not pulling any punches. I'm not blown away by any of the aesthetic in it, but you can have a lens that can go shallow, but is it sharp? And these certainly are. And I really love working with Zach. He's the most grateful person you'll ever meet, and it barely feels like you're working when you're on set with him. And I'll put a link also to these simera-c lenses down below. Thanks guys for watching. See you on the next one.